Hello, dear friends. Mercy towards the guilty is cruelty towards the innocent. Adam Smith. Opinion piece. Control system. Chaotic answer. Overcoming fear. Don't lose your head. Everything will come to light. Let's start. David Icke claims that a global control system exists, but run by a cult or hidden elite which manipulates finance, media, and politics to concentrate power. He also claims that this system seeks to lead the population toward a kind of global dictatorship, constant surveillance, less freedom of choice, and dependence on centralized structures. He adds that China serves as a model or incubator for this system, citing social credit, surveillance cameras, and behavior control as examples of what they want to extend to other countries. David Icke argues that wealth control is not exercised by visible leaders, but by a hidden elite or structure that manipulates politics, the media, and the economy. He also says that many official narratives serve to keep the population in fear and obedience, and that real change begins with an inner transformation to keep within people. Humanity is in transition of consciousness, and overcoming fear is key to no longer sustaining the system. Everything will now come to light in unstoppable torrent that will culminate in real trials, according to James Howard Kanstler. The only question is, will this massive revelation of truth lead millions of citizens to reflect on what has been perpetrated against them? Dolores Cannon was ahead of her time in analyzing humanity's chaotic response to the sighting of spacecraft, emphasizing that those who are prepared can remain calm and guide others through confusion amidst global change. In quotes, most people would be shocked by governments collapsing. Those who are willing to face these changes and don't crumble under the weight of fear will be the pillars others lean on when nothing makes sense to them. That doesn't mean you are going to reveal truth to them, but simply that you won't crumble like they do. When you don't lose your head and you stay calm, it doesn't matter what you do. People will notice and seek you out because they don't know what to make or what they see. And maybe you don't know what to make or what they see either, but you are prepared. Therefore, you will have the certainty and confidence that everything will be all right. You are not crazy. Reset News. The new economic system is ready to take off. Red Hats declare war on gas thieves. Quantum computing improves AI predictions. Trump tells bankers their systems are hackable within AI. Former congressman exposes blackmail and cheating in Congress. White Rabbit. The White Rabbit has been caught. Code Dead Man Switch. For years, they called you crazy. They told you it was a conspiracy theory. Epstein was about to cooperate. Then he died. He was ready to name every one of them. They didn't kill him because he was guilty, but because he was about to make them guilty. But they miscalculated. The dead man had a switch. 3 million pages and more than 2,000 tapes, flight logs and hidden camera recordings inside Palm Beach, concealed in tissue boxes, recording every room, every face and every action. They thought killing him would bury him. Instead, it triggered the protocol. They lied to protect the monsters lurking in the shadows. The deceased's files have been released. The codes confirmed. The tapes exist. The names are known. And there are no more doors to hide behind. The vice president confirms what they called you crazy for believing. Pizza was never a food. Grape soda was never a drink. The codes were real. The network was real. And Pizzagate was real. Financial change. Financial change will not come someday. It is happening right now. The new system is being established and the old gut is losing control. The floodgates will open the moment the Clarity Act takes effect, either later this month or early next month. Trillions of dollars have been sitting idle. Pension funds, insurance companies, sovereign wealth funds, treasury departments have all been waiting for this moment, the regulatory green light. And when the capital moves, it won't be a trickle, it will be a flood. According to Ethan White of Gaysteller, the Central Bank of Iran controls $127 billion in undeclared gold reserves, stored in underground vaults beneath Tehran, Isfahan, Shiraz, and Mashhad. This gold never belonged to the Iranian regime. Globalists moved it there between 2009 and 2016 under Obama's supervision. Charlie Ward believes banks could collapse overnight in a systemic crisis. He emphasizes the fragility of current financial stability and the increased risk posed by inflation and centralized digital currencies. He notes that silver has value to its monetary use and industrial demand, and stresses the importance of taking personal responsibility for one's assets rather than delegating it to banks or financial advisors. He explains that the fractional reserve banking system allows banks to lend out 9 to 10 times their deposits, increasing the risk of massive withdrawals, cyber attacks, or a financial reset. He asserts that physical gold and silver, held outside the banking system, are not dependent on the solvency of a bank or institution. He speaks of a possible future shortage of physical silver and gold due to dwindling demand, especially in eastern countries and in London and New York. Middle East. Relief after the announcement of the opening of the Strait of Hormuz. Iran opened the Strait of Hormuz until the end of the ceasefire. Iran agreed to let the US take its enriched uranium. Iran will suspend its nuclear program after the strait is opened. Trump increases pressure on Israel. The ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel comes into effect. When Israel agreed to a ceasefire with Lebanon, Iran opened the Strait of Hormuz. The US will maintain its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz until negotiations are complete. Thousands of displaced people are returning to southern Lebanon after the truce. Israel will not abandon southern Lebanon, and could attack again after the crash. Economy. Stocks reach second highs and oil plunges. Oil prices fall 10% and the stock market surge on the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. XRP outperforms Bitcoin, Ethereum and Solana with a 4% gain. Reverse fear is taking hold of the market, from panic selling to panic buying. Easier said than done. Shipping companies are wary of the opening of the Strait of Hormuz. An armada oil tankers is speeding toward the Strait of Hormuz after Iran announced its opening. Silver is waking up and no one is in position. The global jet fuel shortage is worsening. Air travel is about to change with flying taxes. The Gulf War leaves a $58 billion repair bill and a global equipment shortage. The Reserve Bank of India orders oil refineries to stop buying dollars. Europe debates banning social media for those under 16. Brussels sees no immediate risk of flight cancellations due to fuel shortages. The ECB halts interest rate hikes in April. The EU could be on the verge of recession due to the conflict in the Middle East, according to the IMF. Oil export revenues in Norway increased by 68%. Switzerland takes a step to strengthen itself against foreign property owners and immigration. Spain. Sanchez meets with a dozen regional presidents in Barcelona. Spain receives 13,500 applications for the regularization of immigrants in 24 hours. Spain and Brazil dismantle a cocaine network at Barcelona airport. 6 arrested in Melilla in an operation against jihadist terrorism. Chinese giant Chang'an is considering Spain as a location for its European car factory. Americas. Sheinbaum signed a decree to curb the exorbitant pensions of former officials. A U.S. Navy spy drone flies over Cuba while the Pentagon considers possible operations. Ecuador faces new energy problems. Chile and Costa Rica lead the Latin American Prosperity Index. Argentina breaks an oil production record thanks to Vaca Muerta. A green hydrogen plant threatens to reignite tensions between Argentina and Uruguay. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.